What's up? NAPPYNATIBOY513 coming back at you with part 2 of this video series of my life. So, where we left off was basically a brief introduction. So let's start back to my childhood. Cincinnati, man. I was born and raised. I was born to a decent like family, I guess. I don't remember much of that. Basically, my life started when I was around 9, and I grew up in a single mother household. And my dad had left, and my mom was going through some shit, and it was just me and my mom and my sister at the time. And basically, shit started getting bad as soon as he left. My mom and my sister started fighting because she wouldn't show any emotions about my father leaving, and I used to just hold my mom while she would cry like she was broken up about this shit. And she used to just cry in my arms. I was 9, trying to hold her and console her about the things that were going on in her life. But at the time, I didn't really know any better. I just knew my mom was crying, and that scared me, and I was upset. I wanted to make her feel better, so I would basically hold her and try to do the right things, you know, and she would go into my sister's room and try to get her to talk to us, to show some emotion. They would get in these fights, and they would fist fight, and shit would go down, and she left. Never came back. She went to live with my grandparents, never came back. Now that left me with my mother, and we began moving around from house to house. Electric being shut off. I remember churches and stuff bringing us food because we were so poor. Come home, the lights were off, and this continued on to the time I was 13 or 14, 15, when my mom finally got married and moved away to Indianapolis. But in the meantime, I had a lot of free time, so I was out playing outside, and I always looked up to these guys driving by in these nice-ass cars, and all the bad boys, you know. Back then it was lowriders, you know, these little lowrider S10s and Civics and shit. I thought that was just the shit. Big-ass bass pounding shit, you know. Dr. Dre, motherfucking Snoop Dogg, Doggy Style, fucking Luke, man, Miami bass just banging, and I love that shit. And these dudes was all smoking weed and shit, and I wanted to be just like them. And I remember I got my first sack from a dude that was older than me. We went and worked one day, and we was working, and he said, man, we're all gonna get high at lunch. Have you ever done it? And I said, yeah, I done it. So, man, we go and get high on lunch. It was my first time, and I loved it. And he said, man, I got some weed. I got a little bag of weed, but I'm scared to take it home. I don't know what to do with it. And I said, man, give it to me. I ain't scared. So he gives me this bag of weed, and he had a little one of those metal pipes that kind of screw together with the metal screen and shit. And that was it. I took it home, and I remember going to school and telling everybody, hey, I got some weed, let's smoke. And I sold some of it, and that was my introduction to what weed brings you. You know, it made me feel popular and shit, and that's what I wanted to do. So a few years later, a couple of my friends had started selling weed and shit, and I could see they was the man. But what happened was my mother had kind of tried to move us to one of the nicer neighborhoods in our town, in our city, and everybody had money except for me. But I was exposed to a life that a lot of these people had never lived. I was involved in this shit and hung around people that was getting it. Like, my friends' parents were selling dope. Like, a lot of people I knew was in the game already, so it was nothing for me to get a bag and start selling. And it brought me a lot of notoriety in school. Like, Aaron's, he's the baller, and Nappy Boy's a baller. You know, man, what's up, you balling? Yeah, shit, I got it, da-da-da. And, you know, so I started selling a little bit of tree. And then I met my best friend, who was a Russian, a young Russian. And he kept telling me he was connected. His dad was in the Russian mafia, and I never believed him. But he came up with a lot of these stories and shit about how we was gonna hustle up money, and they always worked. And he always told me, man, if you stick with me, I'll take care of you for the rest of your life, Nappy boy. I got you, I got you. And we turned out to just turn into jack boys. That's what it was. Once we was growing up from like 16 to 19, I was the biggest jack boy in my neighborhood. I used to rob people and they would still call me to buy drugs. I didn't get it either, but you know, I would, hey, let me get your money, I'm gonna run down the street, boom, never come back, or all kinds of dumb shit like that. And then it became a problem where they didn't trust us. They'd say, hey, you and that little Russian fucker, I don't trust you, but I know you guys are getting it. Can you give me this? But I'm gonna ride with you. And we came up with some of the best ways to jack people. So at one time, everybody was scared to let us drive in a separate car, go anywhere with your money or anything like this. We came up with this elaborate scheme where we would park my car at a grocery store, and then we would ride around in homie's car. So then we get these calls, hey, can you get us 2 ounces? And be like, yeah, sure. Boom, we pull up and they'd be like, hey, we're not following you, we ain't doing none of that shit, because we heard about what you did to them, we heard about that, and we heard about this. And we'd be like, yeah, no problem, bro, we got it, man. We'll leave our car here, we'll hop in with you. And we take them to this little project building in our neighborhood. What they didn't know is we had already parked another car around the back. So when you pulled into the projects, boom, they were like a horseshoe, and they had doors you went in on both sides. So it was a breezeway. And we could get their money and tell them, all right, man, we can't go anywhere, we're right here. But you can't go in the house. Homie's paranoid. And that was truth. When I grew up, you couldn't take anybody in to buy you drugs. Most people in Cincinnati was like not having that. It was either I fuck with you and just you, or don't bring nobody, or don't come at all. And that was it. And a lot of people knew that game, so that wasn't nothing. So we tell them, hey, give me your money, be right back, we can't go anywhere, you know where our car is, we're riding with you, we'll be stuck, right? Yeah, whatever. So they give us our money, we come walking in, boom, act like we're not gonna do it, walk right out the back door, get in another car, take off, pick up all the cars and disperse. Before they even knew it, 20 minutes go by and we ain't coming back out. We ain't coming back out. And we just had this swag about us. We told us anybody that ever fucking tell us they gonna do something, we gonna tell them the truth. We gonna tell them, you got robbed. And that's what our plan was. That was our gang. That was our shit. They call us and we straight up just tell them, you got robbed. What are you gonna do? It's dope. Call the police. Fuck you. And a lot of people wanted my head after that, and I lived that life forever. And I remember we used to ride around and sell weed every night with me and this dude. His name was Mike, man. And he used to get a pound of weed every night. We'd chop it up into O's and we would fucking ride around and sell it. And I always had a good knack. I could tell when shit was getting hot. So shit was getting hot one weekend. Like, so hot that every time we drove down the street, the police would whip a U-turn and start following us. We had to stay within a certain block radius of these projects, the same projects we was robbing out of. We had people that stayed there, so it was like not uncommon for us to be there, and that's why a lot of people believed us when we would take them there to get the weed, and we'd rob them anyway. But we had to stay in a certain block radius of this because the police knew what was going on. We ride around all night selling weed. And they'd follow us. We would never go very far from that because we knew where a couple places were where we could immediately duck off. As soon as they busted you, boom, we pull in somebody's driveway, jump out the car, and stand there and look at them, watch them roll by. But I knew they wanted us. I knew they wanted us bad. And one night they called and they're like, hey, what's up? You come in? I said, nah, man, I'm done, man. I can't fuck with y'all anymore. I gotta be done. And I played the cards right because 2 nights later he got pulled over and got busted with 16 O's individually bagged up for sale. And that was it. He called us the next day, wanted us to help get his car out of impound. He wanted to get this. They didn't catch this weed, da-da-da. And all kinds of dumb shit. So what happened then was I just stopped fucking with him. He kept calling my grandma's house, and I kept telling him, quit calling my fucking grandma's house, and I'd hang up. And he'd call back, and I'd say, look, dude, you're hot. Please stop calling my phone. Stop calling my grandma's phone. I don't want nothing to do with you. We were falling out about it. And he kept calling me and telling me, man, Nappy, you gotta help me sell this shit. I need a lawyer. I need it more than ever now. I need it. And I wouldn't do it. And I was working this little factory job, and he called me one night, and I was so pissed. I said, come on, bro. Come up here. I'll get rid of it for you right now. Shit. And he came out on my break, jumped in the back seat, and he said, what you got sold? I said, I got it all sold, man. Just let me see it. How much you got? He's like, I got 2 zips. And I said, all right, bet. I said, let me get that shit. I'm gonna walk over here and I'm gonna break it all off and bring it right back to money. He said, all right. I was getting out of the car. I said, last thing, let me get your scales. Cause see, this dude, man, he was paranoid, and it always pissed me off because he thought me and my homeboy would steal from him. So if you walk to another room, he'd come back and he'd start weighing all his shit again. He thought we would pinch little sacks and little nugs out of his sack. And we was trying to, but we never really did. But it just pissed me off that he treated us like that. So I said, hey, let me get your scales. This is more just to like a little fuck you. And what I did was I just walked back in the building and went back to work. So I'm sitting there in my factory job, packing my boxes. The manager walks up to me and says, hey, over there, man, these 2 guys said they know you. And I looked over and looked back at him and said, I don't know them. He said, I wasn't sure if you did or not, but that's why I didn't let them in there. We look out for our own. I said, yeah, tell them to go. They ain't got nothing here. Ain't got nothing to do for me. And they left, and they waited outside for hours. But I was working this super long shift, and I just prayed when I walked outside, my grandma was going to pick me up, that it wasn't out there. But if it did, it was going to go down. I was going to start fighting them and whatever, you know. Grandma probably would have called the police. Who the fuck knows? But came out, they wasn't there. And dude knew it was a jack move. And my best friend, the little Max, the little Russian dude, he kept fucking with him. And I said, look, homie, if this is how it's gonna be, then, you know, we ain't gonna be cool. You need to rob him. And he's like, all right, I'm down. He's like, how we gonna do it? And I said, well, shit, we're gonna pull up on him, and you're just gonna get in the car and ask him for 2 zips. When he hands it to you, you're just gonna get out the car and walk away, and we're gonna drive away. He's like, that ain't gonna work. I ain't gonna have enough time, blah, blah, blah. Once he sees you, it's over. I said, all right, I'm gonna lay in the back seat in the cut, all right? When you get out, you pull up next to him. When you get out, you leave your door open and reach down and hit the lever on the seat so it falls forward. I said, your windows are tinted on this side. He's not gonna see the seat fall forward. He's probably not gonna know what's going on. So he does that, he gets out, gets in. While he's doing that, I crawl out of the back, get in the driver's seat, suit up and boot up. He grabs the weed, looks at it, and he goes, okay, let me weigh it with the scale. And he starts getting out, and dude's yelling, hey man, where you going? Hold on. By this time he takes off running, gets in the car, he sees me, and it's we lead him on a high-speed chase, dude. Boom, 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 Lincoln Heights. All down through Kennedy Heights, all down through the hood, swerving, ducking, swerving, boom, and we fucking gone, robbed his ass. And that motherfucker was hot. So he wanted us bad, but you know, we stayed low-key. We was some jacking-ass motherfuckers, and we stayed low-key. And one night he got his friend to rob my homeboy. And we went over to his house afterwards. Man, we was looking for him. Banging on the door. His mom answered the door, and we're like, hey, where's Mike? And she's like, oh, he's not here. And you could hear him rustling around upstairs and all that shit. And I'm telling him, no, he's right there. Get him out here. She's like, he ain't up here. And I just kind of pushed her out of the way. Walked in the house and said, Mike, if you don't come down, I'm going to slap the shit up out your mama, man. This shit is for real. We ain't playing no games. And he brought his ass downstairs. We started doming on him. Boom, boom, boom. Me and my homeboy was beating the shit out of him because, you know, he took some shit from us. Yeah, we robbed him twice, but that's how the game goes, you know. And he wasn't down for his, but we was down for ours. We're beating the shit out of him, man. And boom, he take off running and shut the door. I wasn't thinking nothing of it. I turned around, look at the dudes in the car, throw my shit up and say, yo, gang, gang. I didn't know it at the time. Dude had opened the door and he grabbed a wrench about 12 inches long, the open end that goes around the bolt, and ran up behind me and started boom, stabbing me in my head. Still got flat spots and dome spots where he was dome checking me with that thing. Bah, bah, bah. I turn around to start throwing bah, 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 bah. And the whole time he's swinging, I'm hitting him. I'm like, you fat motherfucker, you ain't doing shit. You hit like a bitch. As soon as I said that, he goes, bam, dome checks me right on the top. He hits me so hard, I hear ting, ting, ting. That motherfucking wrench falls up out his hand, fucking starts tinkling on the floor. I said, oh my God, you bitch. You hit me with something. I didn't even know what it was. I reached up, my whole fucking head just covered in blood, leaking. He take off. I get in the car. I'm like, man, what the fuck just happened? I said, take me to the store. Boom. He whipped me up to the store. I run in. I said, can I get the keys to the bathroom? The lady's like, oh my God, oh my God. She's freaking out. She's like, I gotta call the police. I said, no, 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 don't call the police. I'm fine. I just got a little cut. It's cool, don't call the police. Then I go in there and wash my head and shit. Fucking, from that point on, I knew I needed a pistol. Like, I called a couple of my friends. They're like, we ain't got your back on this shit, bro. I knew I had to get that man. And the beef just kept going on, man. He'd slip my tires. I'd run into him here. We'd try to fight. We run off. Shit kept going on forever till this motherfucker got locked up. But from that point on, I knew that there was no more fighting in this game. I knew I had to get me a pistol, and I had to get it quick. And I hit another lick on another dude from California. He said, hey, I'm going out here. When I come back, I'm gonna have all the ecstasy pills you can handle. And I said, cool. So he come back, he fronted me a £quarter of weed, and he's got like 1,000 ecstasy pills. I said, let me get 50 of them. He said, all right. So he gives me the 50 pills. I told him, give me 4 days. What I don't have, I'll cover with my check on Friday. He said, bet. So, I'm trying to hustle, I'm trying to get my shit. I'm eating a lot of these pills, fucking, you know, dumb shit. I'm like 19. And my homeboy, same Mexican, or Russian cat, he take me to get my check one day. We pull up, and the dude's standing right out in front of the temp service. We work for a temp service. He posted up, all thugging. He said, what's up, boy? You ain't heard? I said, I heard what? He said, man, we got laid off today. I said, laid off? He's like, yeah. He said, we ain't got no job. I said, oh, man, for real? He said, yeah, so I'm going to need that money. And we going to have to hustle extra hard to eat now. I said, all right, cool, cool, cool. Go and grab my check. I'm still ready to pay this, man. I'm thinking I caught me a plug. Ready to work. As soon as we get back in the car, my homeboy look at me and goes, hey, you ain't hear what he said? I said, yeah, he said we need to hustle these motherfucking pills with the quickness. He said, that ain't what I heard. I said, what'd you hear? He said, I heard y'all don't work together no more. Jack moved, trying to rob this fool. I said, fuck, and I ain't want to do it. I drove around looking to cash this check, so I was on check system, so I couldn't get the check cashed nowhere. I remember looking at him, I said, we're going to try one more place. If that don't work, we're going to get high. He said, but when it ain't work, we started popping pills. Ducked this man. I don't know how he found where I lived, but 2 days later, this dude was covered in tattoos. Everywhere except for his face. Head, boom, 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 boom. Tatted up like a motherfucker. I'm sleeping one day, and he walked in my house. My grandma let him in. He knocked on the door, said, is Nappy Boy here? I said, what the fuck? So he's standing at my door. He basically wakes me up out of my sleep. I look at him, and he is pissed. I'm laying in bed with my fucking blanket half on me, and he's like, so what the fuck happened? And I said, I don't know what to tell you, man. He's like, what do you mean? Where's my shit? And I said, I don't know what to tell you, man. He's like, where's my shit? And I said, I don't know what to tell you. And then I just remember what my homeboy said. If it's a lick, it's a lick. We always tell the truth. So I just looked at him and said, man, we robbed you. And I just said it just like that. I swear to God, I was like, man, it was a robbery. I robbed you. I was probably wasn't so cocky about it because I was like, eh. And he said, what the fuck you talking about? He was so goddamn mad. He said, you need to get up, man. Come take a ride with me. He had a little gun and shit he tried to show me. He said, man, you need to come ride with me. And I said, I can't do that, man. He said, man, I'm not fucking playing. You need to cut up and ride with me. And I said, how the fuck you get in my house? And he said, yo, grandma let me in. And I said, grandma, I don't know this dude. Why you let him in the house? She's like, I thought he was your friend. I said, no, he won't leave. Grandma started acting like she was gonna call the police. He left. And then after that, he found me everywhere he could. He shot at me in traffic. He did all kinds of things. And that was the first time I dipped out and took off to Indianapolis to try to lay low and get my shit straight. And I got more on that when we come back. Nappy, Natty Boy 513, Savage. Thanks. Bye.